Hey everybody, welcome back. We're back on the floor today and we're going to do some planks eventually, but I am going to be more focused on what's called reciprocal reach. So that means one side might be doing one thing, say my arm is doing one thing and the opposite leg is doing something and the other two are not moving at all. So here's just an example. By the way, wrists can be a little hard for people, so you can always double it up and protect your hands like that, protect your wrists. So my palm is a little higher than my fingers, or you can do this on your forearms. It is gonna be sort of harder on your forearms eventually. Okay, so I'm gonna start in just a tabletop back. So my back is gonna be straight like this. All right, so your navel's to your spine. Now, for me, especially with this, we wanna make sure we're not sinking down into our shoulders or dropping our waist down like this. So we wanna keep the belly tight. So imagine that there is like a spike coming up. So we don't want to drop that stomach down, we want to keep it up, all right? So first, we're going to extend one leg and bring the opposite hand forward. So we're going to come up and down, and up and down. Now your not moving arm, the elbow is staying soft, and up and down. Bring it on in. We're gonna go over to the other side, same thing. One leg, the opposite hand. Up and down, and up and down. Elbow is soft, armpits are down, navel's to the spine. One more time. Up and down. Okay, so this time I'm going to go into a modified plank. So from the side, it'll look more like this. So I have more weight on my arms. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out a way I can do this without you having to turn things to the side. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so I'm a bit at a little bend here. So we're gonna lift one leg and the opposite arm and down. So it's a lot less stable. And down. Now the hard part about this is not leaning back. We got one more time, up and down. So I'm gonna go into a full modified plank. Navel's to the spine, elbows are soft. We wanna keep that space between our chest and the floor. Okay, so one arm in the opposite leg and down. And we wanna try to go fairly slow. Up, I'm still going big, but that may change. Up and down. Okay, so now we're gonna give it a whirl, full plank. So I'm not gonna lift up as high. Armpits are down, ribs are down, navel's to the spine. Remember, you don't have to have your knees up. You can always have them down. So we're gonna lift one arm in the opposite leg, and switch, and up, and switch, and up, and switch, last time, and switch. Bring it down. All right, so let's go ahead and press our chest down, armpits are down. Just have a nice stretch here. So this time, instead of being on our limbs, we're gonna be straight on our chest, because we want to work the back. The back tends to be strong anyway because it's holding you up, but we want to make sure that the front is supporting the back when it's actively doing a lift or actively doing work. So we're going to go straight on our stomachs. So I'm going to start with my hands stacked. My forehead's going to be on my hands. Notice my feet are about mat width apart. So my navel's to the spine, Armpits are down. So also, my hip bones and pubic bone are pressed into the floor. My ribs are pressed into the floor. My navel's to the spine. Again, armpits are down. We're gonna lift one leg and down, other leg and down. Keep pulling down in the armpits. Those shoulders wanna come up and become earrings. We wanna keep them down. Up and down. So now we're gonna extend our arms like we're super person here. One arm, and I am floating my head. You can always put a block or a pillow underneath your forehead. One more time, up and down. Now this is where we're gonna do reciprocation. We're gonna lift one leg and the opposite arm. I'm gonna start everything on the floor and lift, and then I'm gonna go faster, and then we're gonna float, and then go faster. So navel's to the spine, armpits are down, head is lifted a little bit, one arm in the opposite leg, and down. Other side, and down. So we wanna make sure we're not rocking from one side to the other. Keep your belly button to the spine. And I'm really reaching long with my feet. Keep your belly button to the spine. I know I say it a lot, but it's super important that your back is supported. Okay, so we're going fairly slow here. This time we're gonna go faster, and I'm gonna float. My arms and legs are floating. One arm in the opposite leg, and down, and switch, and down. So because my back is supporting all my limbs and my upper body, we wanna make sure that your belly button is pulled up so that your front is supporting your back. All right, let's take a little break. So a nice little stretch here, especially for your back, is bringing your feet up towards the ceiling and then just rocking them from side to side. And you notice my hips are rocking too. And that's a really nice back releaser, glute releaser. Some people call these windshield wipers or windshield washers, because if you squint, they sort of look like your windshield wipers. Only if you squint though. Okay. So this time I'm gonna float my arms again, and I'm gonna go much faster. And then I'm gonna not take a break and go sort of a flutter, both arms and legs. Now at this point, I am gonna lift my head and my chest up. Instead of looking at the wall, I'm gonna look in front, right in front of my mat. So not very far. So navel's to the spine, chest is lifted, head is lifted a little bit. Hover the arms and legs. One arm opposite leg, and switch, and switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Keep your belly button to the spine, and flutter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep pulling down in the armpits. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. All right, tuck your toes under, hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest up, stretching the front of your body. If that's too much, you can always bend. Now, even in the stretch, you want to protect your back so your navel's to your spine. Lift your heart up. Now pull your hips back, press your chest down. Now, we did a reciprocal reach, we did all this reciprocal exercises. Now we're gonna do a diagonal stretch. So we're gonna bring both hands to one side and pull your hips back to the other side. So my hips are going back to the right. I'm gonna press my right armpit down towards the floor. Because your lats, your side body was stabilizing you. That's your core, that's part of your core as well. So we want to stretch it. So it's like I'm trying to have both of my tushy cheeks sitting on one heel in the back. And come on up, bring both hands over to the other side. Pull your hips back to the opposite side. And press your armpit down. Your hips are going in one direction. Press that same armpit down. If you feel strained in your neck, you can always rotate your head from side to side just to loosen it up.